This is the Padua Podcast Network.
Running a Fever, episode 147, 7 optional tests you should get on your next physical. Welcome to the show, Running a Fever. I'm Michael Davis, life lover, long liver, and it's a beautiful day. It's a very beautiful day. 87 degrees, and I'm out walking on the trail for the first time in about 6 weeks, I guess. It's been a while, and it just feels so good to be out here. In fact, I was listening to that song by Chuck Mangione, Feels So Good. Tempted to start humming it right now. A lot of cyclers out today. 87 degrees. It's the second week of April, and runners and walkers. This is usually one of the least crowded areas of the course, but I am still pretty close to the parking lot, so maybe it will settle down as I get farther away. So it's good to be out here just for physical reasons and psychologically. Just it always does me good to get outside, and even if it's hot like it is today, still enjoy it. It's very important. And physically, I think I could do the whole trail today if I wanted to. My ankle's feeling pretty good. I've got my new Bioactive walking shoes on. So they're getting a distance test for the first time. And feeling pretty good though. I've been wearing them to work actually for, I guess, over a week now. Ever since my ankle started acting up, and really good. They're not very snug because they have that sock-like fitting, but they feel pretty good. And I'm not really worried about them falling off or anything. So we'll see how they wear, but I like how it's going so far, and definitely a step up from my worn out shoes that I have put over 400 miles on in the last year or more. And I'm in the usual place. Last week I went to Devil's Den, and I hope you enjoyed the drone footage that I had there. I might get away with the drone here, but we're right in the flight path of that airport that's really close, and it's 2.5 miles from an airport. So I'm really not wanting to do that, but I have to plan out where I'm going to go and get used to some places where there's room to walk and room to fly. Devil's Den, there's room to walk and not much room to fly. It's all woods and hills. But I'm sure there are some other places, and I'm planning to find out. In the meantime, I still have a goal of doing video with every episode. And so I'm going to investigate some other options that don't require FAA restrictions. But it's nice, I can still see the Lake Fayetteville through the trees. Maybe I'll take a little picture. Maybe not. I don't know. I've seen plenty of these pictures. Of course, it's slightly different every time, but you've seen pictures of the lake through the trees, no doubt about it. Get my phone to light up here. All right, little picture there. So I did that last week, but there really wasn't a lot of walking. I mean, probably not even half a mile there. Today I'm gonna go for a couple miles, mile out and mile back. I'd say it would be a good first outing after the ankle injury, bursitis turned out to be. Necessitated some recent trips to the doctor, and I decided to go ahead and get my annual physical. And I knew that I wanted to see what other tests were available, because I know they give you a standard set of tests, right? And it's probably because of what's covered by insurance. It includes quite a lot of good stuff, like your cholesterol and PSA for my prostate health, and liver enzyme tests, and a lot of really good things. But there are other tests which you can get. You're willing to pay a little bit more money and go through some other medical procedures. Some of them are just additional blood samples. So, I mean, they're just another tube that they stick in your needle when it's already in your arm. And there are a couple that I couldn't get done at the doctor's office. There's also a urinalysis that I probably wouldn't normally get a urinalysis. So I had to provide urine sample, blood, and then I've got a couple of ones that I have to go elsewhere for, and I'll just talk about. I knew that I wanted to get testosterone because I knew I wanted a testosterone level test because, I've talked about how in real age is where I really got a lot of good testosterone information, but there's a lot of it out there. It's just important for synthesis, and it can actually help your brain health and a lot of other things that I've talked about because of reading the Real Age book. And so anyway, that and just in general, being concerned that I have enough testosterone as a 53-year-old man, I wanted to get that checked. And it's a good thing I did get it checked. But other than that, I didn't really know. I'd read a lot of stuff, but I didn't really have to have a list of things that I wanted. So I said, what should I get? And the doc, who is, again, he's great. I wish everybody could have a doctor that was as good as he is about. I'm the kind of person I like to know why, and I like to have information, and that's part of the reasons why I'm able to continue to do this podcast. I'm always looking for more information and trying to learn, and I'm just sharing it with you. So he just said, well, here's what I would get, because I'm curious. I said, what would be some good tests for a person who's maybe more concerned about his health than the average person? Being a doctor, he's naturally curious about these things. So he said, well, here's what I would do for my own physical. And he listed off a bunch of different tests, and he told me how much they cost and so forth. And here they are. He said that my request for a testosterone test was reasonable. He also recommended a test for vitamin D level. The natural way to get vitamin D is through exposure to the sun, and you need to be careful about that, but a lot of people don't get the sun exposure that they need to get the optimal level of vitamin D. So you may be vitamin D deficient, so that's a good test to have. Any blood tests, I think you can check for anemia, and that was something that he mentioned. I don't know much about that, but I'm sure it's important. He said he recommended a calcium scan, which is something that I couldn't do there. And I have to go to a lab or, a hospital basically to get that done. So they gave me cards for a couple of these tests, a piece of paper that I just call them up and go get it. But the calcium test is important for heart health. In fact, it checks your heart, but it can also find other things. For example, he told me about a couple of patients that he recommended for this that had a very serious fatal form of lung cancer that, was immediately fatal. It's something that you usually die from, but they caught it early enough through the calcium scan to save their lives. So, gonna get that. I'm all about saving my life. I definitely want to not die as much as I can. There's only a certain amount of dying I can take in my life. Only a certain amount. Seeing a lot of people already heading back the other way that passed me. Nice breeze blowing. Another test that I have to go somewhere else to get was an ultrasound, a vascular scan from neck all the way down to my legs, and that can find vascular problems. As you know, cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death other than accidents and suicide and smoking. Actually, accidents I think is maybe down the list, but it depends on age. There's a test for pancreatic cancer, and this is the kind of stuff I'm looking for. This and the lung cancer thing, and then there are other things besides lung cancer that calcium scan can detect. But if you can detect cancer early enough, you can survive. It's the difference between life and death, really. Maybe, if not, maybe the difference between months of painful treatment and a normal life. So really good stuff, and I'm going for all that. Urinalysis was for a test of kidney function, which is of course very important. I already got the results of the tests that I took. The tests that were just doctor's office, off to the lab type of tests. And everything's turning all right, pretty good. Testosterone's actually a little high, which is kind of strange. I was more concerned about it being low, but I was just talking to the nurse, so I had to talk to the doctor and see, if there's anything I need to check because of that. Other than that, everything looking pretty good. Oh man, what a beautiful day. I want to tell you a little bit more about something that I use every single day to improve my health. It's the iHealth scale, and I've talked about this. It uses biometric impedance analysis, which I had a whole episode on that, so you can check. That was actually over a year ago that I did that episode on biometric impedance analysis, BIA. All it means is that there's electrical electrodes that you stand on, and it runs through your body, tests the resistance. Impedance is another word for resistance, and that can tell you your body fat. And from that, they calculate your BMI based on obviously you have to put in your height. The great thing about this scale, though, is not any of that stuff. You can get a $20 scale that will tell you those things. The great thing about it is that it just automatically updates, and I can check for my app on my phone or on my computer. It makes it easy, and the stats that I provide for you guys every day in the show notes. I think I've walked a couple miles. I'm going to actually turn around myself here. I'm at the 5.14 mile marker. So yeah, it uses it over the Wi-Fi. You set it. Once you set it up, that's it. You get on its way. You don't have to write anything down. You don't have to type anything in. I just look on my phone. It's already there with my weight, body fat, and BMI for every single day or every single time I stepped on the scale, even if it's multiple times per day. And you can use it with multiple users. You can have separate stats if you have another person using the scale. More expensive, but still, worth every penny in my opinion, just because of the convenience. If you're really serious, like I am, about tracking your weight and your body fat, our goal this year is a 16% body fat, or 15. You got to track that every day. And if you want to write it down, it's fine, but I just really like the time that it saves me. I used to write it down on a piece of paper next to the scale. Every day I'd write my weight down. I didn't even have anything that would check my body fat. But now I do, and I've been using this for a while, and I really like it. So if you're interested in an iHealth scale, then you can go to runningfever.com/iHealthScale. There's also a link to it on the shop page. And there's an affiliate link there where you can help the show by giving me a little commission if you decide to buy anything on Amazon.com. Yeah, heading back now. Just blue skies, some wispy clouds up there. Like I said, there's still not a lot of leaves on the trees, so you can see all through the forest, and lots of people out here just having a great time. And I'm feeling good. Ankle's not bothering me at all. I still feel it a little bit, but no more than I do when I'm just walking around the office or the house. It feels pretty good. I'm not going at a really fast pace or anything. Just like Chuck Mangione. So check out those tests, and maybe you'd be interested in getting some extra information this year maybe the kind of thing that I do like every 5 years or something, because I mean, it is probably a couple $100 worth of additional tests that go against my deductible. They're not covered on the office co-payments or anything like that. So out of pocket a little bit for that. So it might not be an annual thing, but I think it's good to know. It's good to know. Got to have information in order to act appropriately and to improve. So I hope you like that, and I will talk to you next time. To keep the fever if you got it, and go get it if you don't have it. runningfever.com.